Thank you very much. I'm Will Pham. I used to be involved with the VMHS. I just want to do a few observations and then a question, if I may. I mean, I'm absolutely flabbergasted by the attendance, to be honest with you. I thought a film about mental health service would attract one or two people, but I'm really glad to see the turnout, and I think that's a testament to the work that the VMHS has done. I see some familiar faces, but a lot of new young faces, and Jack's absolutely right. If you want the community to survive, you have to contribute. It doesn't work by itself. The other thing I want to say is I think I want to expand on the question you asked Jack about what the VMHS is proud of, and I think over its 30-year period, it did some incredibly innovative things. For example, we talked about the bilingual counsellor. That's the first time a Vietnamese English bilingual counsellor has been a service has been created. Completely new from scratch. And also, I think we did a lot. And was it in the video you talked about getting Vietnamese people with mental illness to express themselves, and we did a lot to actually find ways to do that, to get over the stigma. And the other thing that Jack talked about is being a bridge between the Vietnamese community and the mainstream community. And one of the examples I give is the example of the dictionary that we created. Dr. Kham, one of the first chairman, he actually wrote a dictionary that translated English words of mental illness into Vietnamese, which was actually used in Vietnam because they didn't actually have any words for themselves. So just some of those are ideas of the sort of innovations that the organisation did. And I think I wanted Jack to talk a little bit about how we can save this learning, because if some of the younger generation are to take on an organisation of their own, they have all this resource to learn from. And then a question for you, Will, is I don't know how easy or difficult it was to do a mental health film, especially a mental health film in a language that you're not familiar with. And so, I think that was a very brave thing to do. And then, also I think the question is how do you intend to get it out there and to make it known? Because we need something like this to be widely seen.
Appreciate it. Now we've been thinking about how we can keep all the document, the book about the setup of the Vietnamese mental health service and archives, and keep it there somewhere, so that in the future, if not just another Vietnamese or organization, but it all may be useful for any refugee community who want to set up a similar service, and there's a lot of reference material already there for them to use. So that's just one thing. And it's just like the Unviet archive, and that's just where we want to look at how we can keep that. And on the other hand, is that with more young Vietnamese like Mai and everyone present here today, so that you have more interest in terms of how the community organization was set up, will develop, and carry on each other. It's not just served with the first generation, but second, third, maybe fourth generation on the line.
Thanks, Jack. Is this on? Hello?
Hi. Is it on? The mic doesn't like me. So,
just to follow on briefly is, I had help. I had lots of help making the film. It wasn't just me. So Mighty was involved. Amy, shout out to Amy, was in PR. So we tried to spread the message about the closure. We also have Maggie, who invited me to contribute the transcript of the film to reach a wider audience at Arcadia Missa Gallery, which has a book launch tomorrow. And I love that because it's the VMHS in context with other practitioners on context. So it's not just Vietnamese, like it's in relation to other groups in London. And I think last of all is shout out to my boyfriend Andy. So I had therapy. Through the making of the film, I had therapy myself, and I describe it as when my cup was emptied making the film, I refreshed it through other means, and it's so important to have that support network around you. So I remember going to, and Andy's parents are here, I remember going to meet Andy's parents just to have a break after the closing party, and I just felt really good after, and it was a lovely change because when I made the film for Andrea Foundation, I didn't have that as much, and it just came by accident. So, and just to pick up on what Jack was saying, there is so much archival material, and Jack, I'm scared because he throws away and discards so much. But it's to do with safeguarding, right? It's data protections, people's personal information. And Mr. Vu's not here to decide what's personal or not. But Jack is, so he's been throwing things away, and I'm trying to visit and scan things. But you just have to accept, like, to me, how I deal with it is we process this information and then we have to let go. So my philosophy is letting go of things. But it's such a journey because we do have to learn and look back at the past to let go and move on. So yeah, that's the... thank you to Mighty for helping. Do you want to introduce the next?
Yeah, I think thank you everyone for joining us today and listening and sharing that emotional space with us. And it is the Lunar New Year. I think there's a performance. Forgot which room, but we can all head there together and celebrate.